Chapter 1. The King in Shadows. Midnight cloaked the ancient city of Nithera like a velvet shroud. The night air was thick, perfumed with rain-soaked stone and the distant scent of blood. Shadows stretched across the narrow streets like curious fingers, creeping into alleys and wrapping around the cathedral towers that pierced the sky. Above all, Obsidian Keep is silent. Carved from volcanic stone darker than pitch, the fortress loomed like a grave marker on the skyline, beautiful in its menace. Its iron gates bore runes etched in forgotten tongues, glowing faintly when the moon dared peek through the clouds. Within the throne chamber, the scent of smoke and steel lingered. King Darius Vortigern sat alone upon his throne of blackened bone and silver-veined obsidian. Torches flickered along the walls, their orange flames casting molten gold over his sharp features. Broad-shouldered, tall, and sculpted like a warrior god, he exuded danger without effort. Power radiated from him like heat from a forge, raw, ancient, and barely restrained. His eyes, silver, glowing, unblinking, were locked on the fire dancing in the hearth. He wasn't watching the flames, he was listening. The shadows were never just shadows in his kingdom. They spoke to him, sang to him, warned him, and tonight they were whispering of change. A familiar, tentative voice cracked through the silence. "Your Majesty." Darius's gaze shifted to the man bowing at the base of the dais, Lord Renwick, thin and pale, wrapped in the scent of parchment, ink, and nerves. The spy master's presence rarely boded well. "You look troubled, Renwick," Darius murmured, voice low and smooth as silk. Lethal silk. "Is my kingdom burning?" Renwick gave a jerky shake of the head. "No, sire, but there are murmurs again, from the outposts in the south. They speak of a woman, unclaimed, unaligned, strong." Darius arched a brow. "Strong? She killed 3 rogue vampires, alone. She carries no mark, no allegiance. But there is something different about her." Darius rose from his throne in one fluid motion, towering over the spy master. His black leather cloak swept behind him like smoke. "Rogues?" he asked. "Where?" "The southern woods, near the ruins of Eldhollow." That name stirred something in him, ancient memory, older than the keep's foundations. "She appeared from nowhere," Renwick continued, "and vanished just as quickly." The king inhaled slowly, tasting the truth in the air. The shadows stirred again. Not a warning, but a calling. He clenched his fists. It couldn't be. His mate, after all this time. "You said she was unmarked," he said, voice low. "But how did she fight?" "With precision," Renwick replied. "Too controlled to be human, too fierce to be trained by any of our clans. Her power, it's raw, untamed." Darius's lips curled into a cold smile. "Then she's either a gift from the gods or a mistake that must be corrected." He turned away, cape sweeping the stone behind him. "Find her, bring her to me, unharmed." "And if she refuses?" Darius's silver eyes gleamed. "She won't. If she's mine, she'll feel the pull soon enough." Somewhere deep in the southern woods, the moon hung low, veiled behind heavy clouds as Seraphina sprinted through the forest. Her breath came steady despite the recent fight. Blood, old and stale, stained her gloves, trickling down her forearm from a shallow slash on her bicep. "Bastards," she muttered, kicking aside a root. 3 of them. Vampires, sloppy, ravenous rogues with more bloodlust than brains. They'd circled her, thinking her a mere traveler. They never saw the blade until it had opened their throats. Seraphina paused near a moss-covered rock, leaning against it as she wiped the edge of her dagger clean. The steel shimmered with enchantment, humming with residual energy. She'd forged it herself. She didn't need saving, never had, and she damn sure didn't want to be found. But something inside her pulsed, an ache deep in her chest that hadn't been there before tonight. It wasn't painful. It was a pull, a low thrum that whispered of eyes watching her, of fate shifting. She hated that feeling. She straightened, dark curls wild around her shoulders, and turned her face to the trees. "I know you're out there," she said quietly. "Come any closer, and I'll send your heart to your master in a box." There was no reply, just wind, but she knew someone had seen her, felt her. She sheathed her blade and vanished into the shadows. She didn't know that her fate had already changed the moment those rogues bared their fangs. And she didn't know that the Vampire King was already on his way,